Thank you and have a wonderful day. This is excellent news. If you get a chance, head over to helium.com and you can check out some of the information regarding their ecosystem and what they've got going on in their network. Essentially, what Helium's technology allows is for anyone to build out massive, cost-effective wireless infrastructures in an entirely new business model that benefits everyone. They are blockchain. They operate on a proof of coverage system, and they also offer long fi. So you will see as well, lots of opportunities in which to participate in the Helium network. The Helium vision is the most ambitious we have seen in the blockchain space since the advent of smart contracts on Ethereum. Helium represents a fundamentally new approach, one with radically reduced cost structure to deploying and managing wireless networks at scale. And it truly is a better way to build wireless infrastructure. The People's Network. Helium is a better way to build wireless infrastructure. The People's Network is the world's first peer-to-peer wireless network that provides a secure and cost-effective way for low-power Internet of Things, the IoT devices, to send data to and from the internet. They're private and secure, total encryption from device to cloud, reliable and scalable. Their blockchain makes scaling secure and easy, and it's open source. Helium is committed to open collaboration. So whether that's operating on a pet collar or a gas meter or a flood sensor, blockchain makes it possible. The Helium blockchain is a new blockchain built from the ground up to incentivize the creation of decentralized public wireless networks. It's based on a new novel work algorithm called proof of coverage and rewards miners in HNT, the native token of the Helium blockchain. If this is something you're unfamiliar with, it's something you might want to consider down the road. Proof of coverage. Proof of coverage is a unique work algorithm that uses radio waves to validate hotspots that are providing legitimate wireless coverage. For this validation work, hotspots can earn HNT by verifying network transactions, adding new blocks to the blockchain, and performing other tasks. They've also got an active explorer, so you can check out how many hotspots are in your local area. As of today, there are 117,153 hotspots currently in the world today. Circulating HNT supply right now is about 98,227,641. If you want to know what HNT is trading at, right now it's trading at $17.15 USD. If you're thinking about price predictions long term, some people are estimating that there's a high possibility that, come the summer of 2022, possibly if, even the spring, that you could be seeing $73 HNT. And people don't understand why that's possible or what the likelihood of that is. Well, it has a lot to do with HNT's, business model and structure. An example of how that structure operates, you could look at the massive deal that they did today. It's all the news right now, and it's slowly making waves throughout the crypto circles. And this is, mind you, this is going on during intense regulation and, in the States where they almost wrote, the crippling legislation into the infrastructure bill. Thank goodness for some of crypto's bigger names, and as well the people that invest and utilize crypto, because they answered the call. I think at one point you've got like 250,000 people just calling into senators and just letting them know, like, hey, hands off my crypto. That number will definitely grow, because crypto is not as easily, just boxed up. Like, they still have to create another category for utility-based crypto services. That's something that they've yet to do. Like, the language needs to be articulated in a way that will grow and help the space, flourish in a way that's safe to do so for the consumer and safe for the corporate entity involved as well, right? Like, all parties have to benefit, and we shouldn't be creating like newfound oligarchs in, a republic that has democratic leanings, right? It's something that, it surprised even me, because Andreessen backed 5G blockchain firm Helium raised $111 million. So, it's hard to fathom that with ongoing legislation. And this is what happens when you don't create debilitating legislation. So we are very lucky. And this is why that's so exciting. If people are wondering that, how business is done, this is one of the ways in which business can be done. And it's when you see corporate level entities investing in, public infrastructure, that's backed by public, supporting it, right? And it's so let's break down what's actually happening right now. So HELIUM Inc., a decentralized peer-to-peer 5G wireless network firm, has raised $111 million in a token sale led by Andreessen Horowitz. The transaction was structured as a purchase of Helium's native token, HNT, and included participation from Ribbit Capital, 10T, Alameda Research, and Multicoin Capital. According to a statement, the native token is structured to give incentives for the expansion of Helium's 5G network that provides internet access. Helium was co-founded by former video game entrepreneur Amir Halim and Napster co-founder Sean Fanning. Its HotSpots, wireless devices powered by the Helium blockchain, mine HNT, the native network token, as an incentive for expanding and strengthening wireless coverage. The company said hosts receive HNT whenever their hotspots provide coverage and transfer device data. Helium is transforming the way we connect to and scale wireless networks globally, said Aliyaya, general partner at Andreessen Horowitz, in emailed comments. It shows how new cryptocurrency protocols will challenge centralized incumbents and eventually compete with larger telecommunications companies, he said. The funds are expected to accelerate the rollout of Helium's decentralized 5G network and support mobile network operators and mobile virtual network operators as they use Helium 5G to expand their coverage, according to the statement. Helium shows that crypto incentives can be leveraged to deploy real-world infrastructure, said Sam Bankman-Fried, founder of Alameda Research, in the statement. Helium has a tremendous opportunity to bring 5G to the masses around the world and greatly enrich the quality of their lives. There are more than 116,000. Like I said earlier, there's 117,000 hotspots in more than 11,000 cities, and worldwide now, according to the company's website. There are more than 500,000 additional hotspots currently backordered waiting to come online, Helium said. And that's spread out over the course of numerous vendors. I think there's like 8 vendors building hotspots right now. The Helium network isn't like a standard cellular network from Verizon Communications Inc. or AT&T Inc. For instances, it uses different standards and frequencies. The hotspots, some of which resemble a modem or a router, have a more limited. The Helium network isn't like a standard cellular network from Verizon Communications Inc. or AT&T Inc. For instance, it uses different standards and frequencies. The hotspots, some of which resemble a modem or router, have a more limited range than big towers used by major wireless providers, though the company says the decentralized model will allow it to expand faster and more efficiently. Still, Helium is being used for numerous projects such as supporting the monitoring of air and water. Helium is being used for numerous projects such as supporting the monitoring of air and water quality and smart infrastructure, co-founder Halim said in an interview. And again, if you're looking for a little background information on Helium, Helium and the HNT token is Helium HNT listed as HNT. You'll find Helium listed as HNT, in your TradingView charts. It's a decentralized blockchain-powered network for the Internet of Things IoT devices. So again, what is Helium? Well, it's a decentralized blockchain-powered network for the Internet of Things, the IoT devices. On your TradingView charts, it's going to be listed as HNT. It was launched in July of 2019. The Helium mainnet allows low-powered wireless devices to communicate with each other and send data across this network of nodes. Nodes come in the form of so-called hotspots, which are a combination of a wireless gateway and blockchain mining device. Cloud miners, so to speak. Users who operate nodes thus mine and earn rewards in Helium's native cryptocurrency token, HNT. Helium's goal is to prepare IoT communications for the future, identifying inadequacies in current infrastructure from its birth in 2013. Who are the founders of Helium? Helium's 3 co-founders, Amir Halim, Sean Fanning, and Sean Carey, started the company in 2013 for developing Napster, the music sharing service, which was one of the first mainstream peer-to-peer P2P internet services in the late 1990s. Carey, meanwhile, held multiple development roles prior to Helium, which included advertising, optimization, firmware acquired by PayPal. Helium's team now consists of members which the company says have experience in radio and hardware manufacturing, distributed systems, peer-to-peer, and blockchain technologies. What makes Helium unique? Helium aims to improve the communication capabilities of wireless Internet of Things, IoT devices. In 2013, infrastructure around IoT was still in its infancy, but developers wanted to add decentralization to their offering, hence referring to it as the People's Network. In official literature, its core appeal will be to device owners and those interested in the IoT space, with financial incentives providing further outreach possibilities. Network participants purchase hotspots, a combination of a wireless gateway and a cloud miner, gateway, so to speak, or build their own. Presently, right now, it's for sale, and they haven't enabled people to build their own for quite some time. Just wanted to clarify that for some of y'all. Each hotspot provides network coverage over a certain radius and also mines Helium's native token HNT. The network runs on proof of coverage, a new consensus algorithm based on the Honey Badger BFT protocol, which allows nodes in a network to reach consensus when connecting. Quality is highly variable. In addition to HNT, users pay transaction fees in a separate token called data credits, which are not exchangeable and tied to individual users themselves. How many coins are in circulation? Well, approximately mining periods of 30 to 60 minutes unlock rewards, which are distributed according to a changing growth plan. Helium explains that at the start, node owners will accrue more HNT for building out network infrastructure, while later on, it will be more advantageous to transfer device data. This adjustment mechanism for token distribution is expected to last for around 20 years. As of the start of October 2020, there are 48.7 million. So as of the start of October 2020, there are 48.7 million HNT in circulation. When the token launched, the supply was 0 with no pre-mine. In 2021, so August of 2021, we are now at 98 million HNT supply. The present market cap is at $1.7 billion in USD. The market cap presently sits at 1.7 billion USD. A fully diluted market cap would be about 3.9 billion USD. The total supply of HNT sits at 223 million. We just recently had the last halving in August, and the next one set. Now you might be wondering, how is the Helium network secured? Helium uses a bespoke consensus mechanism called proof of coverage, P.o.C. Remember, we're evolving in these spaces. There's proof of work, which we're moving away from. Proof of stake, which we're moving towards. Ethereum will be doing that in the start of 2021, I believe. And now there's also proof of coverage. Lots of opportunities. Here for some of you who, like myself, enjoy investing in infrastructure opportunities. So again, how is it secured? P.o.C is based on the Honey Badger BFT protocol, which is specifically designed for node communication when conditions are unreliable. Helium says that the most likely attack vector impacts node operators in the form of inbound ports of hotspots. For token holders, the platform's own wallet uses asymmetric keys to help users with private key security. Where can you buy Helium? Where can you buy Helium HNT? HNT is a tradable token spreading across major exchanges as of October 2020. Major pairs are active on Binance, FTX, and include USD and stablecoins such as Tether USDT. Before a quick look at all the markets, these are the exchanges you can find HNT on: Crypto.com, Binance, Binance.us, FTX, Gate.io, WazirX, CoinX, BKX, Pi1X, Buy1, Who, Bilaxy, Hotbit, Tokyo Crypto, ZT, and VC Exchange. If you've got any more questions, I'm happy to answer them. Feel free to hit me up. I'll see you in the comment section. Thank you and have a wonderful day. This is excellent news. If you're also invested in this project like me, you can see why there's a high likelihood of it hitting $73 or exceeding $73 at some point in the summer of next year. It's not just a predicted forecast. It's one of high probability, because you're seeing the large transactions go through, and it's not going to be the only one, right? This was happening amidst all the US regulation, and you got to be wondering how a mammoth deal like this is possible. You got to be wondering how a mammoth deal like this is possible when you've got cryptocurrency, being snuck into infrastructure bills. And realistically, no matter how we resist it and hesitant we are to it, crypto networks are going to be part of our digital infrastructures. So they can be written into these kind of bills. It was just a surprise to see, tech advocacy groups such as, the left-leaning Fight for the Future urging people to call U.S. senators to object to one of the provisions of the new rules for cryptocurrencies in the massive federal infrastructure bill. So you've got Senate offices being swamped by phone calls. I remember at one point the Metics added at like 250,000 calls. So it was impressive. Huge thanks have to be given to people like Jack Dorsey. He's who is the head of Twitter and Square, and he's also pushing for Blue Sky to sort of roll out with this new future of social media platforms look like when it comes to just being regulatory, when it comes to complying to regulatory expectations. By the way, Holochain Holo happens to sit on that advisory board. So I don't know if you're familiar with that, but that's something to consider. Also, out of all the networks right now, this is really impressive because what other doors this has opened up? This can't be the only conversation that's happening. So when you see $111 million go through, you already know that there's more lined up, and it's going to build more interest. So this is why I don't just call this a big deal. I say it's a mammoth deal, and it creates immense opportunity for people in the network. Now it makes the whole business plan and the roadmap of opportunity for everybody at different, vertical segments of these opportunities. We're all going to get a piece of the pie. So this is why it was incredible to see this happen during an infrastructure bill, because you've got $1 trillion going through, a bipartisan proposal, and suddenly that gets stalled, and you're kind of wondering how government would regulate an industry that's well known. How does government regulate an industry? How does the government regulate an industry known for wild, unsubstantiated financial speculations, memes, and also it's playing a role in the ransomware attacks. People know that if they can hold your corporation, if they can hold a government entity hostage, that there's a high likelihood that they'll pay him out in a cryptocurrency. So this has to be something that does get regulated, but to what extent? And is there a way in which we can do this that doesn't harm industry and stifle innovation? You're seeing what's happening in China, but the difference is, though, over here, what we're able to do is actually police, enforce, track down, shut down, and recoup and recapture lost dollars. So I don't think it's something that we have to just blindly regulate with one sweeping brush. I think that we can actually also flesh out regulation that's specific to that sector of commerce or industry, and if things need to be done to get certain things to be compliant, so be it. But I also think it's necessary to create the rules and framework and structures, or enhance what we already have to oversee. But truthfully, there should just be a separate crypto department, just an offshoot, that's funded by both the CEA and the SEC and, the judicial body that oversees Title 18. I don't see there being any harm, them funding a pool together that, collectively takes the lead on crypto related infractions or crimes, but then also acts as a liaison to help companies and corporations navigate, the law in a way that allows them to be compliant. There's one thing to enforce, but there's another thing to be had for overall education, because with education comes appreciation and as well as respect for those who are equally knowledgeable in these pursuits of generational wealth. I for one would not like to be locked out of these opportunities. So seeing that deal go through for $111 million was eye-opening, and it's a reminder that crypto is not going anywhere. If anything, what's going to happen is the more they speak of regulation, the more they push things to Senate, you're going to see bigger and bigger deals happen. You know, I'm not even going to talk about what happened to the PolyNetwork, but that's worthy of discussion as well. That's definitely worth a discussion. And somehow this deal goes through, and it's just a reminder of how secure Helium's network is. Things for people to consider. Things. That's why I'm here. And if you're also invested in my other favorite project, then you would see why, you would see why it's worth the hodl and why we hodl. And you don't have to ask me when Lambo is. We stay sipping on petrol. You know what I mean? The veins are pumping pure diesel right now. We gassed up. It's a good look. So, when people got FUD for you, there was no need for any of the FUD. There was no reason for people to back out of market earlier on. It was just, by the time they tell you to exit out of market, guess what? They've already pulled their money out at the peak or at the height. And realistically, people are just trying to secure more position, and they know that there's a level of ignorance in the market that they can bully, intimidate, and scare out of position. So kudos and congrats to those of you who have made it this far and who are still, operating at a gain. And, it is what it is. If there's losses to write off, write them off. Carry them over. But at the same time, too, recognize where your gains can be had by, maintaining position in market. Because if there's one thing I've learned over the short time of being in market, it's that, the more you move your money around, the less you're going to make. And 100%, if you know when to hold them, because, you can always fold them. But if you know when to hold them, it's absolutely worth it. It's one of the most special feelings just to be on top of the world. Hey, we almost at episode 40, so I just want to say thank you kindly to all of you who've been rocking with me. Stick around for more to come, because I don't just drop gems. I sprinkle them out there like SaltBae. There's always something to be had, and thank you kindly for tuning in. Until next time, this has been Big Black Crypto. Great hodling with you, homie. To unlock the next video, hit the subscribe button. What are you waiting for? Like and subscribe. Until next time, thank you kindly.